started? Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here today. Cascade County Sheriff Jesse Slaughter, and I wanted to release some information to the public regarding the what was reported to be an active shooter at Malmstrom Air Force Base. The Cascade County Sheriff's Office was alerted to this matter at 10:38 hours, or 10 a.m., not speaking in military terms. When we were alerted to this, obviously it was an all-hands-on-deck situation. All of our deputies responded. Our detectives obviously leave. Everything starts to happen. At that point in time, I had directed Scott Van Dyken, our undersheriff, and Captain Landon Kateski to head to the base in the hopes that we could establish unified command in this situation. We also had Lieutenant Cadner launch our command vehicle. At that point in time, I liaisoned with the Fire Chief, Jeremy Jones, and I did that for two reasons. Number one was to stand up our emergency operating center immediately. The other one was to, we have task force rescue, where we train with our Great Falls Fire Department partners. And if we end up having an active shooter in a mass casualty incident, people get medical care right away, instantly. They're not waiting for law enforcement to clear the scene. So I alerted him for those two reasons. Chief Jones called in a whole bunch of resources to assist for that, to get ready for that. And then we were able to establish the EOC and get things started there. These issues are complicated when we're dealing with the Malmstrom Air Force Base. And before I go down all the events that occurred and explain it, I brought County Attorney Josh Racky in. I think it's important for him to explain what the legal jurisdictional issues are. County Attorney Racky?
Thank you, Sheriff. I won't go into all of it because it's pretty complicated, but just briefly, back, I think it was in the 40s when they seceded, the state of Montana gave that land to the Air Force. The state of Montana reserved criminal jurisdiction on that property. And so the Sheriff's Office, through the state of Montana, does have criminal jurisdiction on that property. It is concurrent in some effects with the Air Force Base when it comes to crimes, but only when the crimes are committed by Air Force members. Upon another Air Force member, would there be an issue? Otherwise, the county or the state of Montana does have the jurisdiction on that and should be in charge of law enforcement services in that sort of thing. Although we do understand the base has their own law enforcement officers. So.
Thank you, County Attorney Racky. So after that point, what our deputies did was a lot of them were on base responding to this actual active shooter event, attempting to locate the suspect and take him into custody. The rest of our staff very, very fast and articulately covered the entire perimeter of the base, along with the Great Falls Police Department, who was also responding. Only about 10 minutes after we received the call, the base locked down, which meant no more personnel could go in or out. So this created several issues for us during this. We had people on the inside and we had some people on the outside. So it made communications and things very, very difficult. We were trying to obtain information so that I could update the public as this was ongoing. I established that was going to be my role in the Emergency Operating Center, is that I was going to alert the public so that we could mitigate some issues. We had multiple schools locked down within the city, daycares. We even had healthcare centers and one hospital locked down. And it's really important that we get accurate information out because there's a lot of people that could be endangered due to those things, and we recognize that. So we were getting kind of second and third hand information. Some of the information we were able to get by talking to our deputies via cell phone, but basically that it was no longer an active shooter, that no shots were fired, and that nobody was injured. Some of the preliminary information that I can say did happen from talking to Colonel Little, so I know this stuff did occur, was that they were conducting a training exercise, an active shooter training exercise. and that active shooter training exercise turned into a real crime. So that was the information. That's how that event evolved. So I just want to get out some information, kind of make the public aware. Again, there is nobody at this time known to be injured and no known shots to be fired. And we don't believe at this point in time, I shouldn't say that, we don't know if there's any other risks or anything at this point in time. Joey?
Can you list all the partnering agencies that helped with this situation?
I can try. To my knowledge, we had obviously Cascade County Sheriff's Office, a very large contingency from the Great Falls Police Department. I did call CBP, an alert Custom Border Protection helicopter, and I believe that was launched. I believe the U.S. Marshals were on scene. I believe there was other federal law enforcement there as well. I can't quote. If anyone see anyone else in the back of the room, any other federal law enforcement you guys can think of? FBI was there. Yeah, so there was a lot of different organizations. I believe MHP even responded as well.
Jesse, can you explain some of the jurisdictional issues? Have you had issues in the past with responding to events on Maelstrom?
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, it feels like every couple years we go through this evolution of these issues, and it's frustrating because so when you call 911 at Maelstrom Air Force Base, you don't get Maelstrom. You get our 911 dispatch center. 911, what's your emergency? And they don't have the authority to dispatch federal resources on the base. They dispatch us because that's our jurisdiction and that's where we go. So it is imperative that we're able to respond, because if we can't, it creates massive issues in investigations, massive issues of communication, and can lead to deputy safety issues and community safety issues.
You kind of mentioned it there, but there were a lot of rumors floating around about the incident that was happening on base. Maelstrom put out a press release. It was just a suspicious person. You've mentioned that there were no confirmed shots fired or casualties, but there were rumors going around. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Joey, I would love to be able to answer that question and be able to give you a good answer, because I think the public deserves to know at this point. However, due to them locking us out of the base, I tried multiple times to get my undersheriff and my captain into the base to their incident command center to establish incident command, and they refused. They would not allow us on the base to establish incident command, and I was very upset by that. And the reason is because we had our deputy sheriffs on the inside, and they wouldn't allow communication. So what happens in an incident in unified command is our people go in and they link up with our own people, so we don't have communication issues. And so it gets to be very dangerous. So I called multiple people, and finally, I believe it was little around 12:30, we were told, we are absolutely not allowing your people in. And I said, well, they're already in there. So at that point, I ordered our people out because we couldn't have communication in the matter, and it's very dangerous.
So they said there was a suspicious person. Has that person been apprehended, or is he detained, or this person detained? I guess.
Yeah, that's my frustration, Tim, is I don't know. I don't really know where we're at. Colonel Little did reach out to me, and he did express his frustration with the incident, how it was handled, and did acknowledge that this is not how it's trained to. And he did say that nobody was shot and no shots were fired, and that's really all he would confirm.
In their press release, and you might not be able to comment on this, but it says the investigation is still ongoing. Are they taking that investigation then? Is there any other information going to come out of the sheriff's office?
That's actually my concern. My concern is if we aren't doing the investigation right now, and then they find evidence and they find things, and then it makes it difficult for proper chains of custody and for that investigation to go properly. So that's another one of my concerns. And establishing a unified command would help prevent those issues.
What are some solutions, Jesse, to maybe improve communication and cooperation between Maelstrom and local law enforcement?
You know, we've had countless meetings on this issue. We have. I don't know. It's frustrating. As a matter of fact, we just had a media, which you attended, we just had a media relations meeting the day prior where we were talking about these types of issues and how critical this type of communication was. And they were a player at that meeting. And it's, I don't know. I hope we can resolve it. The people of Cascade County deserve it. But it's hard when a federal military installation tells you you're not going on that base. It's very challenging.
Do you think this could have been, cleared up or resolved quicker had things been?
Absolutely. I think if we would have been able to establish that, we could have established and relieved this an hour and a half prior. Absolutely.
They're going to be having, as time goes by here, more and more people on that base or part of the base with this big Sentinel project. It sounds like there's. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, is this just going to get worse or hopefully not, I guess?
Anticipatory leadership. That's what we need from them. We need anticipatory leadership. We need to not be reacting to problems. We need to be planning and preparing for problems, and we need to be ready for them. Especially when we're going to see a massive growth in the Sentinel project. The public deserves better. Absolutely. Any other questions?
That's the only ad.
So, in closing, I'd just like to say this. I would like to thank the community of Great Falls and Cascade County for all their patience. We heard you. We knew you were upset. We knew this was very, very stressful. We recognize that. I would also like to thank the Great Falls Police Department. They were there right away to assist us, and they had all hands on deck to help us out. Great Falls Fire Rescue, our federal partners, CBP Air Support, and the Malmstrom Air Force Base, all attempting to resolve this issue as best we could. There's a lot of things we can do to get better, and we'll do that. And I know that as parents and stuff, when you hear this type of thing, it's scary, and you definitely expect us to be ready to meet that challenge and take care of it. And that's what we're here to do. So I just want to say thanks to the public out there and all their support and all their understanding in this rough situation. Thank you all.